you can. Go ahead and put your hands together, clap them together, interlace the fingers just like this. Make a V with the thumbs and focus on the empty space in between the thumbs. Do not allow the thumbs to drift in. I'm using the top one, right? Focus on the center of that space. Imagine that there's a strong magnet on the tip of each thumb. On the tip of each thumb, pulling and tugging, tugging and pulling it tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. I'd like for you to try to resist that pulling and tugging sensation. But the harder you try to resist, the more it wants to pull and tug in closer and closer and closer and closer. And you can imagine a very thick red rubber band wrapped around the hands, pulling and tugging, tugging and pulling tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. So tight that they just want to drift and float in comfortably together. Pinky, pinky, ring, ring, middle, middle, pointer, pointer. Pinky, pinky, ring, ring, middle, middle, pointer, pointer. Drifting and floating, floating and drifting. Don't focus on what anyone else is looking at. Just concentrate on this empty space in your fingertips. Drifting and floating, floating and drifting. And closer and closer and closer and closer. Tight. Tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Go ahead and release, relax the thumbs. Focus on the hands. Go ahead and interlace your fingers. Now imagine that your hands are locked in a vice. Does everybody know what a vice is? Imagine that vice is getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And look at your top thumb now. Focus all of your attention on your top thumb now. Tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. So tight that the sweat of the palms of the hands become the world's strongest glue. So tight that they cannot come apart. So tight that if you tested them, even if you tried your hardest, they would not come apart. You can try. Try to pull them apart and notice you cannot. Try hard, and stop. And go ahead and release the hands down. If two college kids who have the exact same work experience and education are applying for the exact same job, the first one says, I hope I'm going to do well in this interview. I'm going to try my best because I don't want to become homeless. We just used them all, right? That person is just in bad shape from the get-go. The other person, the other student, says, you know what, I've got all the education, the experience, and the knowledge that I need for this position. It's going to be like I'm interviewing this interviewer. They're owning that job already. They're going to get that second call. How many people here like to read? Good. So everyone knows about past, present, and future tense? We have a way of lying to ourselves. By bringing the past tense into the present and keeping our hypothetical wants and wishes and desires in the future tense. One example that I hear a lot is every time I drink coffee, I need a cigarette. Every time I have dinner, I have to have dessert. These are the red flag words. Every time, anytime, always. Whenever you hear those words, it tells you that you're working with a belief system that the person has, because it's not based in reality. That's when we need to get really logical with ourselves. Every time the evening comes around, I crave cookies. That's a lie. We're lying to ourselves. We're planting these seeds of self-growth. I just like to point out the signs of the hypnotic state. One of them is the dryness of the lips and the mouth, along with the tendency to want to swallow. Another one is the rhythm of your breath, as the body requires more oxygen. And finally, it's the phosphenes, little colors that we see behind the eyelids, or the movement of the eyes themselves. The difference between hypnosis and meditation, I actually believe that they are from the same thing, basically. However, meditation is different because it's more about being aware of everything around you, or just being in this open state rather than being completely focused on one thing. So in hypnosis, we're actually focused on a goal or an outcome, whereas meditation is generally just being there with an open mind, allowing whatever to come.
So what you just left us with was if we wanted to incorporate affirmation to go past our critical thinking into the mind, we would count down from 5 to 0. And
so this is the way it breaks down. The breath, right? Focus on the breath. Then visualize yourself up there on top of the stairs. Exactly the way that you want to be. You could also imagine that there's a giant poster above your head of you exactly the way you want to be. I don't want to confuse you, so I don't want to give you too many techniques. So we'll start with the stairway. So we imagine ourselves exactly the way we want to be, seeing ourselves up there on top of the stairs. Then we count ourselves down to the
stairway.
The stairway. It's amazing how, if you take the strong words like that, like, oh, this is so hard, but just changing it with something lighter, like, oh, that was so silly, or something. It's changed. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah, it really changes the whole dynamic.